Let's start off with some music to hype us up, okay? It's to get us ready for this episode. All right, here. To the road to victory, fight, fight, fight. Adam, you like that?
I guess you'd rather be lucky than good, huh?
All right, welcome back, guys. We are back at it once again. We're in week 4 of the NFL. I swear the NFL is going by quick as hell, Adam.
Yeah, and last week was like 7 nail biters out of how many games? It was an insane week.
I can't remember how many special teams decided a lot of games. I never seen so many block kicks in my life. Like there has to be some kind of record. I know they get somebody look has to look it up, but unbelievable. The Eagles, the Jets, the Packers. So many games that decided that. So many games last week in week 3 of the NFL for a lot of block kicks. But guys, like I said, we are back. It's week 4 in the NFL. We're here to give you all of our predictions. We already gave our predictions for Thursday night football. We both took the Seahawks to cover, but we're here to give you all of our picks. I had a bounce back week. Week 2, I did week 3, I did week 2, I did terrible in my predictions, but week 3, I had a bounce back week. I went 11-5 against the spread, and Adam went 7-9 against the spread, and that makes I am the current leader now as of where I belong, but we're still above 500, the both of us. So not your best week, man. You kind of went downstairs.
Yeah. I mean, some of those kicks definitely. I think I was on the wrong side of almost every kick, to be honest.
Definitely the Eagles one. I remember that. You were like, they
Yeah.
covered and when they back for the touchdown.
Buccaneers as well. There were a couple other ones.
Yeah, it was insane. But guys, I am back in the winning side, 11-5 against the spread last week, so I'm on fire. Both our best bets went 2-1 against the spread, so we're above 500 in that. So guys, like and follow. If you followed us, you followed my bets, you made yourself a pretty penny. So let's get started right away. Let's start off with the big games, and then the games that are, not that big. I know they probably the teams that matter to the people who like them. They probably mean so, but we're gonna do rapid fire. We're going to pick the games that we want to talk about in a longer form, and then the games that we feel like we could get through pretty easily. We'll do that rapid fire style. So the first game, as we were just talking about, my Philadelphia Eagles, undefeated as usual. Super Bowl champs, clawed, defended their way back in that game when everybody thought they were out. Everybody counted them out. They were down 19 points in the first half, going to the second half, and they crawl back and they win. I mean, if the Rams didn't get that sack and then it was a fumble because we had our bum backup right tackle come in for Lane Johnson, they have not scored no points in the second half, but they replaced him with Fred Johnson. Fred Johnson was a great backup. They moved him to the right side and they moved out Pryor. And then they never had a chance after that. They started blocking well for Hurts, and the Eagles come away. What do you think about that Eagles game, man? Did you think the Rams had it in the bag in the half?
Yeah, I barely watched the second half. I was just sitting there with my feet up, thinking the Rams are just beating ass, which it looked like they were. I mean, does it concern you that they only played one half of football, basically? I mean, I know it was a good half, but you got to play a full game in the NFL.
This is exactly what the Eagles did last year. They were never played a full 4 quarters. It's the same thing that happened last year, and look how that turned out. Now, will the chickens come to roost soon? Possibly, because I don't know how that's sustainable. It's we are doing a lot what the Chiefs did last year, winning a lot of games within one touchdown. I know it's the beginning of the season, but it does concern me. But they need to put four together. And from what I'm reading, Jalen Hurts kind of took the helm a little bit, even though he didn't throw the offensive coordinator under the bus. Somebody broke it down, and they saw him like audibling out of like 30% of the plays called in the second half. Like, so he just started changing stuff. He was just like, all right, I have to like make changes and and throw the deep ball and play the sidelines because you know he's gone through so many offensive coordinators because it's either they move off to be head coaches somewhere else or they're terrible. And so this guy, they should never hired within the Eagles. They should have hired someone from the outside. It's proven that it worked. They hired Kellen Moore and it worked. The guy before Kellen Moore, he sucked and he was an internal hire. They should hire somebody external and bring in fresh ideas, not the same shit from the previous, from internal. Like they shouldn't just do that. They should bring from the outside, but they did, and he's been his offense has been like a water gun. It's been pretty crappy. But guys,
Yeah.
I have been ranting on. Let's talk about the Eagles versus the Buccaneers. The Eagles are favored by 3.5, and the over/under is 43.5 points. Like I said, that's what you want to see from a championship team like the Eagles. They were down and out when everybody was like, "Oh, the Rams, they're one of the best teams. Look how they look." I said last week, they forget the Rams play terrible teams. They played terrible teams, and when the Eagles were their first big test, and they failed. And also, people forget Matthew Stafford. I mean, the Rams, since Matthew Stafford's been a quarterback there, he's like 1-4, 1-5 against the Eagles. The Eagles just have his number and they have the McVay's number. So the Eagles prevail. But let's talk about some things I didn't like. The running back room needs to be better. I know Barkley, he's maybe a little worn out, from all those carries last year, maybe because our offensive line is doing great. So I don't know if that's the case. I want to see more. He's only averaging like 3.3 yards a carry, and he's still getting a lot of carries. So that's not good. I like to see they get them to get more sacks. They do really well in like getting pressure on the quarterback or like sustaining the run defense, but they're not getting sacks, and that they were middle average last year. But when you have Jalen Carter and you have Davis, you think to get more sacks. Um, so, but speaking of Jalen Carter and Davis, I have to say they are probably arguably the best interior defensive lineman duo now since Davis lost 30 pounds in the offseason. He is now special teams player of the year. He leads our team in QB pressures, sacks. The guy's getting after it. It's a contract year, so he's playing his ASS off so he could get it. And Jalen Carter, he didn't play for he didn't practice for a lot of the offseason or training camp because he was hurt. So he's still trying to get conditioning. So when he's up 100% and he's almost there and Davis is now at 100%, I think it's going to terrorize a lot of teams. But I don't know. What do you think about Jalen Carter and Davis? You like that duo?
Yeah, I mean, I knew it since draft day that this was going to be a problem. I think the Eagles will get lucky again, and the new TV money deal is going to hit right when he's time to renegotiate, and he'll just soak up all of that salary cap jump. But yeah, I mean, he's a beast. But yeah, it's a hard thing with the Eagles. Like, I think they're kind of similar to a lot of the top teams now, where like if their offensive line can dominate, they're going to put up points and just kill you. But if you're not dominating, then they kind of have to win in different ways, and sometimes it's hard. This week they've AJ Brownie had a little sugar rush and got his fat butt out there catching passes, but he looked great. But yeah, they'll work through it. But they looked good. They looked good.
Yeah, and I just think that's a way how a team it just shows that they never give up, and I think that is a quality on a good team. Like you can't you have to fight every tooth and nail. So good thing on them. Everybody's worried about Hurts. He looked like he did what he needed to do, or he could throw the deep ball pretty well. He is small, so it's hard for him to throw in the middle sometimes, but he threw a perfect ball in the middle to Goddard, so he could toss it. He has 7 touchdowns, rushing and passing, and no turnovers. People forget he hardly turns the ball over, so he's looking great. But like I said, from the defense, I want to see more sacks. The second corner somebody needs to step up. Well, we have 2 great corners in Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, but that second one, something needs to happen there. Somebody needs to step up. And speaking of corner, let's talk about our injury. We have a lot of new injuries that just popped up yesterday. Nolan Smith, our guy who's great at getting after one of the guys good at getting at the quarterback. He is put on the IR. They're saying he's gonna probably go all the way to the bye week. So week 8, week 9, he's gonna come back. So that's kind of bad. Zach Bond was seen with a knee brace. He was a top 3 for the defensive player of the year voting last year, and he's great this year. So he's been limited in practice and sometimes not practicing at all. No, he hasn't practiced all this week, and he's been seen with a knee brace. That's not good. Campbell, our star rookie, who PFF had him number 1 playing last week, number 1 defensive rookie playing last week. He hasn't practiced as well, so keep an eye on that. That's 3 of our 2 of our linebackers and 1 of our pass rushers. they're all not practicing, and one's in the IR. Adoree Jackson is probably out for the game. The guy who played opposite of Mitchell corner, he has a groin injury. And Bennett, the guy we traded from the Raiders, he was put in the IR. So the Eagles have a lot of guys going to this game, particular all on defense, obviously. What's his name? Lane Johnson. He is a limited participant with a neck stinger, but they said he is probably going to play, and we need him because without Lane Johnson, the Eagles actually have a losing record. When he plays, they have a winning record, so they really need Lane Johnson to have everybody. But keep an eye on it. There's a lot of injuries for all those guys, and let's talk about the Buccaneers, a team that's also suffering from a lot of injuries here. Um, they barely won by the skin of their teeth against the Jets. I had the Jets covering that game. Um, they won by a game-winning field goal. Jets block and took it to the house, and they fought the Buccaneers tooth and nail the whole game. The Bucs are beat up, so that's why that's why I thought the Jets were a good play. But they're coming off a close win. That's good. They're still undefeated. That's especially since they're really beat up. You want to keep that winning record going. Baker Mayfield is playing, lights out. The guy's passing the guy's Superman, rushing the ball, passing the ball. So he's doing his thing. He's spreading the ball around too. Shepard has over 100 yards. Mike Evans has over 100 yards. The guy's passing the ball around. Now let's get to their injured list. Wirf is questionable. They don't know if he's going to play. Their star left tackle. Mike Evans is out. I think he might get put in the IR, but he's definitely out. He's out for multiple weeks. Charlie Heck, backup offensive tackle who was starting. Didn't practice today. And don't forget, they have two of their starting offensive linemen who are on the IR in general. So, they're getting down to like their fourth to fifth fucking offensive lineman, man.
Yeah, they're hanging on by a shoestring. But Chris Godwin is coming back, though. I see.
Yeah, Chris Godwin is coming back. He full participant, so that was a good thing to see because even though Mike Evans is out, I was still like it's not that bad a wide receiver room since you're a boy, the rookie wide receiver stepping up. Him and Shepard have over 100 yards. Mike Evans, like I said, 100 yards, so they spread the ball around. But with Godwin, with the rookie and Shepard and still good running back room, but more in particular, their running back room is really great. They are killing it. But the White Tucker and the main guy,
Bucky
Irving, though they're killing it. That's a great running back room. So that's something you still have to fear. The only thing is the offensive line. Can they keep this up with all these injuries to block, pass, and run block? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Buccaneers are a good offense. I know the Jets gave them a hard time last week, but they have some players on defense. I'm a little worried about the Eagles' defense handling these wide receivers. I know they have that great interior defensive line, but I mean, they have Zadarius Smith starting as their outside pass rusher. That's I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be able to get to Baker enough, even with the offensive line issues.
Well, I'll tell you what. I rather now hindsight's 2020, right? But as a Darius Smith trade is actually pretty well good looking now because of the injuries we just got. And
Yeah,
I rather have a Darius Smith than some rookie. Like we don't know how he's gonna attain. But I still think that Carter and Davis are going to eat because their whole interior linemen are out. They moved their starting center to left tackle, the Bucs. They took their left guard and moved him to center. So the right guard, right side, right guard, center, right guard, left guard are new young rookie or journeyman guys. And the right tackle, some other guy. It's gonna be a third right tackle. So
they'll eat them up.
yeah, the tier lineman is not good, and our tier defensive line is the best of what we have. So I like it. And by the way, for all the people thinking like the Buccaneers, they have the Eagles number. They have the Eagles number. They have. But I want to remind everybody, the last time the Buccaneers played the Eagles didn't have Lane Johnson, AJ Brown, or Devontae Smith. They didn't have any of those guys on the team. And like I said, without Lane Johnson, we have a losing record. And AJ Brown hasn't played the Buccaneers in 2 years because he's been hurt every time he played the Bucs. So the Eagles are having their whole offense is healthy. Okay, let's get to our predictions here. Let's just get after it. I think there's too many injuries too many significant injuries for the Buccaneers than it is with the Eagles. The Eagles have one starter, Nolan Smith, who's officially out. Bennett, who's an IR, he gets some playing time. Bond, pay attention to that. He is one of the best weak linebackers, middle linebackers, whatever you want to call it, in the game. He hasn't practiced, but he is out there with his brace on, so he's like working out. keep an eye on that. So that will be tough. Okay. But them losing their offensive worst, Mike Evans. Mike Evans, I know that I just said how good the receiving room. Mike Evans is still a guy you have to like watch out because how big and still how fast he is. So they are losing his height and his big playability. So they're losing that with him being gone. What the Eagles need to do, what I think they're going to do great at, is hone in the Buccaneers rushing offense because that's their bread and butter, and they're going to need it because their offensive line is beat up. But because their offensive line is beat up, and we have our interior linemen all healthy, and the pass rushers, the DNs, I think they could get after the run and stop it. I'm taking the Eagles to cover the 3.5. I can see the Eagles winning this 27-20 around that range. Don't forget, the I forgot to mention, the secondary still sucks ass for the Buccaneers. Just like it did last year, Swiss cheese, it's Swiss cheese again this year. Okay, so if you could protect from their front seven, like they did with the Rams in the second half, then you could pass all over the Buccaneers secondary. So I am taking the Eagles to cover this in Tampa, hot ass Tampa. By the way, it's gonna be in the 100 degrees, but I think they're gonna come in and win by at least a touchdown.
Yeah, I want to go against you, but I'm still going to go with the Eagles on this one. They showed a lot last week, and I think they can keep that rolling against the beat up Bucks.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. It's gonna be a great game because I did have our number, and Todd Bowles is gonna blitz, 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 and he does complex blitzes too. He doesn't just sit there and he doesn't like just a common blitz. He really pits them. So I think to be a great game. As usual, it's the game of the week. I don't care if anybody doesn't say it's not, but it is. It's the game of the week. They played back to back playoff teams. So guys, I'm loving it. Fly Eagles 5. We're both taking the Eagles. So let's go. So let's go to the game, the team that the Eagles just beat. That's what I was trying to get to. Let's talk about the Colts versus the Rams. Now, surprisingly, the Colts are surprised everybody. I think Danny Dimes looking like Danny Diamonds, baby. That guy is looking like he is tearing up. Another stupid move by the Giants, by the way. They let go of Barkley. Barkley kills with the Eagles. Danny Dimes leaves, and look at him now. So it just goes to show you, if he keeps this up, Daniel Jones, it's an organizational problem. It's a Giants problem. That means they had two talents, and they couldn't put them to their full potential. But especially that they had shitty offensive lines, as long as I can remember. So there you go and have it. So if Danny Dimes turns out this and the whole year, Giants, you guys suck. Okay, so the Rams are favored by 3.5. It's in LA, and the over under is 50 points and 50 and a half. Like I said, dude, the Colts are looking great. The Colts are kicking ass. Jonathan Taylor is looking like the best running back of all football. Um, you know, he is, if he stays healthy, well, he is healthy. Finally, he's fully healthy. But if he stays completely healthy, I forgot about him. You know what I mean? Like in the beginning of the year, I forgot the Colts have him because he was injured the last 2 years.
Yeah, he was an insane prospect. He's an awesome runner, and now
From
the
Wisconsin,
Colts
right?
have
From
it
the
together.
Badgers?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. One of the only good running backs from the modern-ish Badgers. So they have a high-powered offense, and Daniel Jones looks awesome. I really like the Colts. It makes me want to sing. You know that guy that sings the Colts song?
Oh, yeah. You know what? I'm
I
going to
had
put
that
that in the edit.
stuck in my head all the time.
I came across that TikTok and I was like, wait, what the fuck? Like, what is this? I'm going to put that in the edit. I forgot about
He
that guy.
sang
Thanks.
on the field this week. I saw
Really?
at the stadium. Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
dude's lucky
They're
charm for
embracing
them.
it. Yeah, maybe that's what's turning it around. But yeah, I really like them. I love the Colts this year.
Dude, they're killing. So look at Jonathan Taylor has 338 yards rushing on three touchdowns, and Daniel Jones 816 yards passing. He's one of the top guys, if not the top guy in passing yards, and three touchdowns, and he has rushing touchdowns. So he's looking legit. He's looking like, honestly, if the MVP vote, I would check that he probably moved up in the MVP voting way up. Okay, I guarantee maybe top 10 now. I guarantee he's in the top 10. I have to check that out. Hey, maybe throw a little money on that. Maybe he'll go win it for you if they because they're probably going to win the division since the whole division sucks. But let's get back to the game. The rookie tight end Warren, he looks like a great pickup. He's killing it for them. I believe he has over 100 yards receiving. Then you have Michael Pittman. He looks like Michael Pittman from 2 years ago. He's killing it. Pierce is killing it for them. He's also over 100 yards. It's a contract year for him, so he's looking great. Um, there's Daniel Jones is spreading the ball around. By the way, he is not just honing on one wide receiver, and the guy he looks like I said he looks dynamite. The defense, when you look at their defense, I kind of act like I don't know a lot of their players, I'm like but then you forget that they have Force what's his name? DeForest Buckner.
DeForest Buckner.
Yeah,
Yep.
the guy's a beast. He's still one of the better interior linemen in all of football. He is questionable going to the games, to keep an eye on that. But I forgot they had him. It's like, oh shoot, he's dang. How did I forget about him?
Leatu Latu is a number 15 pick from last year. He's coming on
Yeah,
strong.
and
They've got guys.
Yeah, and Ward and Xavier Howard, these guys have come up big for them, so they're looking great. Their offense is averaging 34 points a game. Their defense is only allowing 18 points a game to opponents, so they look great. They're surprising everybody. If anybody tells you they had this on their bingo card, they are lying straight to your face, because nobody thought Daniel Jones was going to be this great. And also, their offensive line is looking like maybe arguably the best offensive line in the league. Daniel Jones has only been sacked twice. That must be a breath of fresh air from the Giants, because when he was on the Giants, he was getting sacked damn near every play. So that is just pays dividends for how I'm sure how Daniel Jones feels. Let's talk about the Rams. Excuse me, the Rams. What a choke job, baby! What a choke job! A choke job by the Rams. They thought they had in the bag. All those guys, Young and Verse, talking on the crap. Oh yeah, did you see Carter having his change or just versus chain? Oh, I love that
Mm-hmm.
Carter. I know Carter's probably psycho, but I love that he's a psycho for our team. So I love
I would
that.
too. I would too.
So great to see that Verse. So yeah, guys, they have a great front seven. I know, but I love seeing all that trash talk go down the drain for them. Okay, they have a great wide receiver duo. We know it. They have a good running back room. Okay, and Corum and Williams. Corum is a speedster. Williams will get you those hard yards. So really great. Um, Matthew Stafford, great, awesome. Their tight ends have been pretty bad, but let me give me what concerns about the Rams. Okay, and I'm preaching what I preached last week when I told you guys to take the Eagles. They have some concerns. Okay, their secondary was exposed. Finally, the Eagles they played against a team that can actually has an offense. Go look at the Rams' previous teams they played against. They played against garbage teams. They played against teams that have no offense. So the Eagles were the first team they played against that was actually worth a damn. They played against the Texans. The Titans. The Texans have the worst offense, and the Titans had the second to worst offense. So that's who the Rams played. That's how everybody's like their front seven is so amazing. Is it good? Yes. But look at the teams they played. Bum City. And they played a team that could block. And what happened? They dropped 30 on them. So their secondary got exposed because we could block. So that's one thing. Their corners are average at best. They need to get somebody if they want to make a run at it at the playoffs. The Eagles also showed that if you I don't know, Matthew Stafford was having a hard time getting to his players. And, that's another thing. If you take away, I mean, if you take away their star wide receivers, like they took away. I mean, Adams did have that touchdown pass, but Adams was shut down pretty much after that. Mitchell held him like to only 27 yards or 37 yards receiving. So is you after if he has to rely on just on Puka Nakua giving him 10 catches, you could tell that's like his only like his one shifting one move. That's about it. I don't know. What do you think about the Rams in that game, man?
Yeah, Matt Stafford's great, but that is one of the problems with having a highly concentrated offense. Puka Nakua looks amazing, but you can't throw it to him on every play. And if a defense can scheme it up to try and keep them contained, then they're going to have some issues. Where the Rams are kind of the opposite, where they spread it out, kind of like the Packers do, which obviously I prefer for no reason other than no. I do prefer that to having a couple superstars that you can shut down. But the Rams are a really good team. They blew it, and there were a couple other Super Bowl quality teams last week that blew it, and I want to give those teams some grace, like the Packers. But I don't know. I still think the Rams are a better team than the Colts, but I'm struggling with deciding this game.
Yeah. my thing is you know, here's this is where I come to. I'll start first with my prediction. I think if you can block well, if and they have arguably the best offensive line, they you can expose their secondary. I just think you can. And since they have Pittman, they have the good tight end, their tight end Warren, they have Pierce, they have their ace Taylor. I think that's enough. And you know what? I think this is going to come down to the wire. But if you're telling me I could get 3.5, I get that hook that with the Colts. I'm going to take it. I think the Colts. I think Daniel Jones. Oh, by the way, Daniel Jones, don't forget, he could run the ball. He has a couple rushing touchdowns. So if possibly his offensive line does break, he can get out of the pocket and fight for yards. He did it all the time for the Giants, and he's doing it this year. So I think that Daniel Jones could keep away from the front seven enough. I think he can, and I think Jonathan Taylor he could probably eat their defense. I just think this is a more well put team, and I think that the secondary of the Rams will get exposed again. So I'm taking the Rams plus 3.5. Rams can still win, but I like that 3.5. I really do like it. I thought this was gonna be more of a 1.5 kind of game. So I'm gonna take the Colts plus the 3.5 points.
Yeah, I'm going with you. I don't know that Stafford and Puka and Adams can overcome the balanced Colts, and I think the Colts could win straight up. So I'm taking the Colts.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great game. It's probably one of the best games of the week. It obviously is because that's why we're talking about it. Sorry that I'm like ranting and I'm like looking away. My cats are like doing crazy stuff over here on the side that you guys can't see. But yeah, Colts. Give us the Colts to plus 3.5. I think it to be a great game. So keep an eye on that, and also keep an eye out for the possible injuries to the Colts. So with that. Now let's go to two teams that are surprisingly 1-2. That is the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the Ravens were embarrassing, man. The Ravens. I know they only lost by a possession, 38-30, but they looked like it was a bigger loss. They couldn't guard a child with that defense. The Lions were doing anything they wanted to them. They were, hey, popcorn vendor, do you want to rush the ball? Okay, boom, to 30 yards. The popcorn vendor, hey, let's get the water boy in. Water boy in, gets 15, gets a first down. It was just, dude, I'm telling you right now, we've been saying this since, or I've been ranting like this. It's is Lamar Jackson going to be Jim Kelly, the guy, got good quarterback who's never going to win it? They have all this. Like I hear this. Like he's always MVP candidate. Okay, stack all those awards if you want, man, but you're not winning nothing. Is it your defense? Is it your coaches? It's a hardball. Do they need a new philosophy? They have all those first round picks, all the big money spent on that defense, and they have been ragdolled. They have been people have been scoring on them left and right. Here, play like this. Uh, every every team they played that's a good team besides the Browns, they've dropped 40 points on them, almost 40 points, okay, because the Lions scored 38. So everybody that's worth their weight that has an offense, because the Browns don't have an offense, they've just poured points on them. So I don't know what it is, dude. Like I don't know if it's a philosophy change, but the Ravens defense ain't look like the Ravens defense, and it wasn't look like last year either, because last year they had the worst secondary.
Yeah, the secondary looks terrible still. I mean, you do have to give it up to the Lions though for playing their asses off, and they're a great team. They're a Super Bowl caliber team, but yeah, Ravens just aren't up to snuff. And if you can shut down Henry, I mean, the Lions goal line stand it on the 1 yard line 3 plays in a row against Henry. If you can't do that, you're fucked. Like I'm sorry, like you said, Lamar can't do it all, and it's just not good enough.
Exactly. Like that was very impressive. It was more of a, I don't know. I would say it's more impressive win than a defeat the Ravens. But the thing is, um, um, their defense looks horrid. It looks awful, dude. Like, I mean, they can't stop a sneeze. It's so bad. And like I said, they have all those first round picks. They have all those. Please tell me, anybody out there, tell me why this defense is god awful. This secondary is god awful. Okay, and the rush defense is god awful. Montgomery had like his best game of his career against those guys, and Gibbs. Like everybody's running on them. Like I said, their defense looks horrible. We could talk all about their offense. Lamar Jackson, Henry, Zay Flowers. Henry's looking like he's fumbling a little too much this year. They have a good offensive line. He's finally mixing in the tight ends and Likely and Andrews, so they're getting involved. So that's good. But the defense has given up 96 points in the first 3 games. That is pitiful. Even the Browns, buddy, the Browns outgained them by 81 yards. Yeah,
That's
and the
insane.
Browns lost 41-17, and they got outplayed. So that is unbelievable to me. Um, Lamar Jackson, like he's 1-4 against the Chiefs, which is I don't know, maybe I don't know how that's possible. He must just have his number. So that's one thing to keep an eye if you want to bet on the Chiefs and talk about the Chiefs. They're coming off I don't know. I don't think it was a great win against the Giants. Like I said, they need it was a must win for them because 0-3 teams like almost never make the playoffs, so they needed it. But I watched that game and I was not impressed by them whatsoever. So you know, I don't know. What do you think about that Chiefs and Giants game? Or what do you think of the Chiefs in general? Were you impressed with that win?
No, I hate how the Chiefs play. They just scrap by. They let Patrick Mahomes, pull stuff out of his butt. I will say, the offense is gonna maybe improve. Xavier Worthy's coming back this week, um, and Rashid Rice is coming back in the next couple weeks. So if their offense can improve, obviously they'll be a more dangerous team. But they're still the Chiefs. Um, I don't know. I struggle with the Chiefs because they just always find a way to win, and you got to respect it. But like Travis Kelce out there yelling in coach's face and just not being the player he thinks he is, it's all just so hard to watch. Like I barely watch the Chiefs because everybody hates them, but they are very difficult to watch for me.
Yeah. Also, the Chiefs are like if that was AJ Brown Iona's coach, it'd be a bigger thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's kind of BS that they could do that. But you're right, man. I don't know. Look at when it comes to the Chiefs, I am not scared of anybody on this roster. Okay, everybody talks about Worthy. Oh, Worthy might come back, or he is coming back. Okay, he like the last few games he turned it on. He didn't turn it on and he didn't do that so amazing in the playoffs too. He got those garbage town touchdowns against the Eagles in the Super Bowl. Is Worthy going to be some game changer? No, I don't see it. I'm sorry. They have if not one of the worst running back rooms in all football. I'm sorry. Besides Mahomes, there's nobody on this team that scares me offensively. There's nobody at all. Sorry, my cats are going in front of my camera. There's nobody at all. Okay, Thorin. They're like, oh, they found something in Thorin. I mean, he's hearing all this. It's like, can you guys stop sucking the Kansas City Chiefs dicks? There's nobody there who impresses enemy. Thorin, are you serious? Just because he had a couple of few deep balls against the Giants, it's like that's what impresses you. I am sorry, that is not what impresses me. Running back room is garbage. Mahomes leads the team in rushing yards. He's the only person that scares me. Kelsey is lost a step. He is slow. The defense looks like it's not like it used to be. The only team they ever stopped was the Giants. So, dude, I am not impressed with this team. Nobody scares me on this offense. I don't care if Xavier Worthy is back. He's just another Thornton, maybe, who could stretch the field. Will that help a little bit? Sure. Okay, whatever. But what it comes down to is do you think this putrid it's literally statistically it's one of the worst rushing offenses and it's not that great passing wise. Do you think they could put up a fight against a terrible defense? I'll let you take it away with this one.
No, I don't. And I don't think the Ravens are going to have a hard time putting up points against the Chiefs either. I think the Ravens are going to cover this one easy. They're kind of in a must-win mode. I think the Chiefs still have excuses, and they're not looking like one of the top teams in the league. The Ravens have that potential, I think, if they can get their defense together, and they don't want to go down 1-3. So I think the Ravens got embarrassed last week, and it's a gut check, and they're going to come back and punch the Chiefs in the mouth.
Sorry, my cats are like by my camera, like don't sniff
Sorry.
my camera. Get away, get away. Um, I totally agree with you. I'm on the Ravens to cover the 2.5 points as well. Look, I trust the Ravens offense to get something done more than the Chiefs offense. And look at just for anybody who thinks like we're being biased because we both said we don't like nobody likes the Chiefs. So everybody wants to bet on the Chiefs. Maybe this will change your mind, Adam. Mahomes is 12-3-1 against the spread as an underdog. So he kills us underdog. But you know what? This offense is not the Chiefs' offense of the old. Nobody here scares anybody. And I'm taking the Ravens to cover the 2.5 as well. I just trust their offense more than I trust the Chiefs' offense. And maybe their defense could step it up a little bit and do something. But Mahomes is going to have to play Superman to win this game, in my opinion. And our next game, well, I try to tell you guys, we have the Packers versus the Cowboys, with the Green Bay Packers being favored by 6.5 points and the over under being 47.5 in Dallas, by the way. Well, like I said, as I was just getting to, one of my best calls of the year. I said to take the Browns plus the 8.5 points, but I did hint maybe I should take the money line. And what happened? The some whatever God you believe in answered my prayers, and not only did they cover, I don't know, man. That was kind of, I don't know. Was it is it the Packers' fault, or was it the Browns, or I don't know. What do you think? Well, how you tell
I
me?
don't
What do
know.
you
I
think
think it was your
that
fault.
was?
You were praying to whatever gods are from the underworld. I don't know what from, but yeah. I mean, the wheels just fell off, honestly. For a lot of reasons, I think I didn't like Matt LaFleur's game plan. We did stay in control. You know, the defense knew that they could contain the Browns, but this is the NFL. Like, teams can score 10 points. You can't expect to hold the team to 0 points. So I think he was way too scared, even though Myles Garrett looks like, one of the, if not like best edge defenders of all time. I mean, the guy is just like gliding out there around people. But yeah, we played scared. We played not to win. I think I saw something about Love's average depth of target being like 1.2 yards or something like that. Like, we were absolutely terrified. The offensive line was just totally shattered. I think they're getting way too loosey-goosey with thinking they can just move guys into different positions on the O-line and they can pick it up in a week. And we have some young guys all around. So, the Browns defense, we'll see in the next couple weeks how good they are, but I think they are like a top 3 easy defense in the NFL, and we just got punched in the mouth. Our defense still played great. That's not going to change, but I do think the offense can bounce back. But we got three offensive linemen hurt. Zach Tom's doubtful, Aaron Banks questionable, Rasheed Walker questionable. So that's a big concern for the Packers. But I do think, obviously, with a gut check week and a high-powered offense, I think they can bounce back. But, man, yeah, that was not a fun one to watch.
Yeah, man. Look at, there's one thing I said. I mean, I know the Cleveland Browns defense can hang with anybody. I know the Ravens dropped that many points on them, but the Browns' offense, Flacco was not helping them out any day. Anyway, honestly, Flacco should be replaced. They should
Should.
put some new blood, Gabriel Sanders. Let a spark happen in this offense. Like, they need
Well,
somebody
Quinshon
to,
Judkins was the spark. If they could have a
yeah.
quarterback that can help that offense, they're not a bad team.
No, Jerry Judy, Tillman, the 2 tight ends, and David Naduku, and the
Count
Fantin, the other
Dooku.
guy. Yeah.
Count Dooku. Yeah.
So they have a team, but it's the quarterback. So I think they need to do replacement now if they want a shot in the dark. But dude, like, I'm not here back about the Packers loss. I'm glad the call went my way. I mean the Browns covered, but I called it. I knew I took the Browns to go over their total win predictions at 4.5 to get to 5 wins, because that front seven, especially the defensive line, I knew it was going to be hard as hell. And like I said, they broke Jacobs' record. Jacobs didn't have a rushing touchdown. They snapped it.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, Henry only had 45 yards rushing, no touchdowns. Before that, they stopped the other guy from not rushing worth damn. So they could take one thing right away, your running game. So then you have to obviously try to beat him in the passing game. Obviously. Sorry, something my door happened. So dude, I know the Browns can they can
Wreck a
light
game.
up.
Their defense wrecks games.
Yeah, exactly. So their offense needs to step it up, but we're not here about talking to the Browns. The Packers, look at, I'll start talking about the Packers. Um, Nobody, I'm just going to say, I know you think there is, but still, nobody scares me on that offense. Nobody does whatsoever. Jacobs has not yet to rush for 100 yards. Watson and Reed are both hurt. Uh, okay, Kraft maybe Kraft. He's had one game, one really good game out of three. I'm trying to think like who. Okay, if I'm a corner, who do we have to follow? Who do we have to plan to make sure they don't light us up? I don't see it. There's not one
I,
guy, in my opinion, on here.
no, I'm not. I'm not going to argue with you on that, but I do think they want to win more by scheme and having Jordan Love distribute the ball to open guys. So if LaFleur is the offensive mind that people think he is, and he can keep people getting open, they can put up enough points. But I agree when it comes down to crunch time in the game, you're on that last drive, who are you going to throw it to? That is an issue. But I do think overall the Packers will have the luxury of relying on a great defense, getting good field position, and letting their offense, like stars, kind of emerge from the offense throughout the year. So, but it's a big bounce back week. Everybody's saying they're Super Bowl contenders, but they have to come and play a really desperate Dallas team. So,
And talking about the Cowboys, dude, it's like, I thought they're beat up on offense, their defense, I should say. They got torched like nobody's business by the Bears. It's like that was a very embarrassed loss. Like I know the Bears get a little heat from us because one of our friends is a Bears fan, and also they're the Bears. But finally, this game in particular, this number, which I thought, I feel like it's a bit of a trap game. I think people are anticipating the Packers are going to have a bounce back year because what happened to the Browns. But this is why I think it's a trap game. And I'm not saying I'm going to take the Cowboys, but they're both their star corners in Bland and Trevon Diggs are both healthy for this game and they're full participants, so they are going to play. I think maybe the first time this year they're going to maybe play healthy together for this game, and they are really good corners, really good. So their left starting corner, Elm, the guy they got from the Buffalo Bills, he sucks. So, but Diggs and Bland are healthy for this game. So I'm taking a step back with this game because I don't know if they're going to just light them up like the Bears did. Okay, so that's where I get to. I don't think this front seven can get to Love. So I do think that's something there. I actually think that this might actually be a good game for Jacobs to go over 100 yards. So if you want to bet that as a prop bet, because I don't really see the rush defense holding Love back. I mean, Jacobs back. So I think now that they're healthy corners, they could stop from the Packers maybe making this game not get out of hand because their top two best corners are now healthy for this game. Their offense, let's talk about it. CeeDee Lamb, he's still doubtful. I don't know why they don't just list him as out. He's still doubtful for this game. He's out, people. He's going to be out for 3 to 4 weeks. He's gone. So they have Pickens, Turbin. They have Williams. Javonte Williams looks like he's a good running back. Him and Miles Sanders are turning out to be a nice, solid running back duo. And they have Ferguson. So they're not without weapons, but without CeeDee Lamb being there, I think that's bad. That spells bad news for them.
yeah, it's a gigantic loss. I mean, they funnel that offense through him, and but their running game has looked better than I think we both expected. So their offense does have some momentum, I guess, but I don't see it happening for that offense. I think everybody's talking about, the Micah Parsons revenge game, but I think our offense is good, or our defense is going to get after Dak and get after him often. Pickens isn't going to light us up. But
and their starting right guard Booker is going to be placed in the IR. They just announced it, so that's their starting right guard or left. I think is right guard. Yeah, he's out for the game. He's going to be out for the game. He's going to be out for weeks.
that's huge. That's huge. I will say Kenny Clark has played well, so he's going to help in the run defense. But yeah, if they could stop the run and those cornerbacks actually are playing out of their minds, the Packers could have a hard time. But I need to bet on the bounce back for the Packers. I can't see Dallas, finding some, Rudy halftime speech inspiration and showing up and beating up the Packers without CeeDee Lamb. I don't see a world where that happens. I don't want to live in a world where that happens.
Well, the Packers has had their number, right? The Cowboys number for a good while.
A
Yeah.
long time. A long time. Yeah.
This one's tough. Let me have maybe some betting statistics will help me out. The Packers are 2-1 against the spread this season. The Cowboys are 1-2 against the spread. The under's 3-0 in Packers games this season. So that tells you the Packers are not putting up a lot of points there. But the Packers are 0-1 against the spread on the road. The only road game they've played, they're 0-1, and the Cowboys are 0-1 in the only home game they've played. So I'll let you go first. I'll let you go. I need some time still.
The points are a lot, but I'm going to take the Packers. I think it is a true gut check. We have the Cowboys that should be a win, obviously. We have a bye, and then the Bengals. So I think the Packers' only goal right now is to get 2 wins and a bye over the next 3 weeks, and it starts this week. Jordan Love's going to light up their defense, and, yeah, I think we win by 10.
Yeah, this is tough, man. Like, because with CeeDee Lamb being out, that's probably like a 2-point swing. I like to see what this opened at, but when him getting hurt, it does put a damper on like them. And like the Cowboys do not have the defense the Browns do to like always let the Browns defense can always keep the Browns in the game. You never know their defense could put the clamps on and keep it close enough to for any covers or just winning in general. Um, but.
I would have taken the Cowboys if CD was playing at 6.5.
Right. It wouldn't be
Obviously.
6.5 though if he was playing though. It'd probably be like
wouldn't.
4.5 or something like that. But I'm taking this strictly because I believe that everybody, the public is taking the Packers to cover the 6.5. I am taking this because I am taking the Cowboys plus 6, and I hate the Cowboys. I'm an Eagles fan. I hate them, but I believe the Cowboys plus 6.5 points. This is my thinking.
That's a lot of points.
The public is going to be betting them because they're thinking no way the Packers are going to lose 2 in a row. They just lost to the Browns. This is going to be a revenge game. They're coming to Dallas. Dallas is being a little slept on because they lost CeeDee Lamb. I think they keep it close enough. Now, I think their offense could be able to move the ball a little bit, but I think I'm more worried about their defense stopping the Packers, obviously. But I think now that their corners are healthy, they can make it keep it closer. I think the Packers are going to win. I really do. But I think the Cowboys keep it close enough, like the Browns, not as good as the Brown defense, but I think they keep enough. Dak keeps them in the game just enough for the Packers for the Cowboys plus the 6.5 points. So I got to take it, man. I'm not doing a Packer hater, but 6.5 is a lot for being in Dallas and for a team that's got their corners finally healthy. And Pickens is still a good wide receiver. He could draw the safety when they try to go over the top with him. Ferguson in the middle, and Williams get some hard yards. I really think that could happen.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I hate it, but one thing I've learned with our record so far is when I bet with my heart, it's usually wrong. I've been wrong with the Bears every time, and but I'm not jinxing it or anything.
Well, guys, there you have it. I'm not being a Packer hater because I despise the Packers, but I just think the Dallas could keep it close enough. I think Dallas is going to lose. They'll go to 1-3 or where the hell their record is. But they 1-3. But I think they keep it close enough. I'm thinking 21-27 kind of game, or possibly 24. I don't know, 16, 18, no 18. I don't know, something like that. So give me the Cowboys plus the 6.5 points, and give Adam for his Green Bay Packers to possibly have a bounce back to cover the 6.5 points. So guys, the remaining games here, we're going to do rapid fire style. So we're not going to stretch them out, and bore you. We're going to try to keep this short and simple so we could get, so this can be more enjoyable for you guys and easier on me when I edit this. So let's get at it. The first game I want to talk about, by the way, we're going to talk about a game I found out just a couple of days ago. It's in Ireland. It's in Dublin. They're playing in Ireland. It is the Vikings.
Those games are always weird too.
Yeah, the overseas games. Yeah, you never know because some players are jet lag, even though they say, "Oh no, we stayed a few nights." Blah blah blah. So we have the Vikings versus the Steelers. The Vikings being favored by 2.5 points, and the over/under being 40.5. Um, Vikings, hey, like we said last week, this might be a godsend that McCarthy got hurt because they were dynamite. Wentz did what he had to do. He didn't turn the ball over. He was efficient. He threw over, I think, over 70% of his passes and completed them. And so that's what you need to do. Also, Addison is back for this game. So it's Addison, Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson. He's dynamite. And Mason. Mason looks great. What a good pickup that was since what's his name's out on the IR. What's his name? The run Jones. Yeah, since he's out. So they had a good game against the Bengals. They blew out the Bengals. It was like a whooping, like nobody's business. They had some defensive touchdowns. Isaiah Rodgers, I knew the Eagles should have kept him. So Isaiah Rodgers had 2 defensive touchdowns or 1 punt return and 1 defensive touchdown, something like that. So good look by them. Now let's talk about the Steelers. Wait, what do you think about the Vikings before I jump on the Steelers real quick?
Yeah, I mean, that defense dominated. I think either one of us could have played quarterback that game and just kneeled the ball, and they would have won with those turnovers. So, I mean, it's easy for Wentz to look good when you got an unstoppable defense behind you, at least when they're going against the Bengals. So,
yeah, I called
they're
it
a good team, well-coached team, good players on defense.
Yeah, I called it. The Vikings wind up with the top 10 defenses, and when it's all said and done, they have the players and they have the front seven to do it. But let's talk about the Steelers. I'll try and make it brief. They're coming off a lucky win against the Patriots. They should have lost that. I know they caused 5 turnovers, but even then, with the 5 turnovers, I got it right here, because the Steelers are going to make my fool's goal list. That's probably coming out on Saturday if anybody wants to watch it. They beat a Jets team. Great for them, who are 0-3 now. They were outplayed by the Patriots. Patriots had more first downs. They had 9 more first downs, 9 of them, 9 more first downs. The Patriots had more total yards and more time possessions. The Patriots had more yards per play. They averaged more yards per play, and they still lost that game. So they had 5 turnovers, the Patriots, and they still beat them in all those statistics. That's a lucky win. Yes, I know they caused their turnovers, but when the opposite team is beating you by that many, and those categories mean the most in games, you should have lost that game. But they did. I don't know what the hell the Patriots doing. There was like butter on the ball or something, because they had 4 fumbles or something like that. So it was unbelievable. I think they have one of the worst running back rooms in the league. Warren is a good pass catching running back. That's all you can do, because he can't rush the ball. Kenneth Gainwell, their backup, he is not doing nothing. And the team is averaging a team total in rushing yards 2.8 yards a carry. That is god awful. That's saying hike and you gain tackle basically right away almost. 2.8 yards a carry. Okay, so it's also not a good sign when you have Metcalf, you have Austin, you have Fairmouth, you have Juno Smith, and Warren leads your running back in receiving and rushing. Okay, unless you have a generational talent like McCaffrey, or I don't know, another pass catching running back I can't think of right now who could actually go
Robinson or somebody.
Right, a guy who could actually play the slot sometimes. No, this guy, it's what's up? Can they not get the ball to Metcalf? I don't know what's going on. So, I'm not a Steelers fan. I think I'm hinting where I'm going. The Steelers also so far are converting 46.3 third downs. I mean, teams are scoring 46 over 46% third down. So that means teams are damn near doing 50-50 on third down. That is not a good mark to have when teams go almost basically a coin flip, convert their third downs on you. So that's not good. And opponents are also averaging 8.5 yards a play against them when they're passing the ball. So the secondary is not looking good. So, dude, I'm going to go with it. Give me the Vikings in to cover 2.5 points. Defense travels. They have a better defense than the Steelers. I know the Steelers stopped the Patriots. They caused turnovers, but the Patriots were still winning more than a lot of those categories. So I think the Vikings keep it rolling, and they know that they could, now that the Packers lose, they could possibly take first place. So give me the Vikings to cover the 2.5.
Yep, this one's easy for me. Addison's back. The offense is going to look better. Defense is going to get after Rodgers. He doesn't move like he used to either, so I think he's going to get rattled, and they're going to beat him pretty good. But weird things do happen overseas, but I think it's a safe bet.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2.5. Vegas saying it's tight, but I don't know. I'm not buying it. I just other than Metcalf, and he's not doing so well, nobody really scares me in that offense as well. And, like I said, they should have lost that game to the Patriots. And let's talk about a game that it's going to be possibly be a bloodbath. Another bit, that's the Chargers versus the Giants, the Jackson Dart Giants, that is. The Chargers are favored by 6.5 points, and the over/under is 44.5. The Giants got their asses handed to them by the Chiefs, even though the Chiefs had a lot of field goals in that game, and the Chiefs weren't like very impressive. They still lost 22-9. Russell Wilson is being replaced by Jackson Dart. So do with that what you will. I don't know. Did you like what you see from Jackson Dart? I haven't really watching a lot of him.
I haven't seen much. I watched that game where he got subbed in a couple times and he was like frazzled. He slipped and fell on one play. Man, it's going to be rough.
Right.
He's still a rookie. I mean, it's not going to be good.
Right. And besides that, they have a terrible running back room, but maybe Scatterboo, because Tracy's going to be out. He's going to be the lead back. He did everything for them in that game for the Chiefs. I think he led in receiving yards and rushing yards. So if they could get he was a good receiving back in college as well. So if they could get that kind of thing where they could get him to do both, and they could be their McCaffrey, if you will, with Neighbors, with Robinson, if Dart could get him the ball, that's not bad. But I'm not really going to buy it, especially in a Chargers defense. I think it's kind of a desperation move. You're throwing Jackson Dart to the Wolves because you're throwing against one of the best defenses with the Chargers. Not like a game. Maybe he needs an easy game he can get his confidence up. No, you're throwing against the Chargers who are 3-0 and who are killing it right now. But I guess some positives for the Giants. Burns has 4 sacks. That's really good. So he's getting after quarterback. This looks like vintage Burns before when he's healthy. So he has 4 sacks. He's getting after. He's getting past the offensive line. Like I said, Scatterboo looks good. And they have a good duo wide receivers. Neighbors and Robinson. They both have over 100 yards receiving. They look like they could be a good 1-2 punch. Obviously, like we said, it's the quarterback play that could get to them. Let's talk about the Chargers. They beat the Broncos in a close win. I think it was a good win because, Broncos defense is finally looks like they're stepping it up. Hampton had his best game of the season. The backup, their starting rookie running back that they drafted, had a brain freeze there for a second. Najee Harris is out for the year, but Najee Harris wasn't really doing anything. So I don't know. I don't think that's a big loss. Quinn Johnson's having a career year. They have a great wide receiver room with him killing it. If he stays healthy, him, Keenan Allen, and McConkey, that is a good wide receiver room. Defense is only allowing 35% in third down conversions. That's really good to hear. But teams are rushing on them. Their teams are averaging a 5 yards a carry against them. So that's a good mark. But like I said, their running back room is not too good. And they have a rookie running back playing behind honestly below average offensive line in the Giants, and you have a rookie quarterback. So, dude, I'll go first with this one. Didn't take me fast. You're throwing a rookie quarterback to the Wolves. I know they have some weapons and Neighbors and Robinson. I don't have to repeat that. And now you have a rookie running back going to be leading the way. Singletary will probably get some play too, but I just can't get there. The Chargers are rolling. It's in, and I just think the Giants are into their head, in over their heads a little too much, throwing a rookie quarterback and a rookie running back to the Wolves. So give me the Chargers to cover the 6.5.
Yep, that's easy for me. Herbert's playing awesome. Their wide receivers are great, and I think it's going to be blood in the water for the defense with that rookie running or quarterback, and they're gonna eat them up.
Yeah, it's going to be. It's I don't know, a 6.5. I thought it'd be 7.5. I don't know. 7.5, 8.5. I want to be surprised at 7.5 in some books. And talking about 7.5 in a game that these are two teams that are look pretty crappy. They have the worst offenses put together. We have the Titans versus the Texans, and get this: the Texans are favored by 7.5 points, and the over/under is 38.5. The Titans, listen, they don't look good. Okay, that's why I picked them on the under team total wins. I think they are 5.5 wins. I told everybody to go take the under on that. Look they have no offensive line. It is god awful. Cam Ward has been sacked 15 times. That's 5 times a game. He's a rookie. The guy's not going to have a body in his second year after this. If he could survive his first year, they only have 3 total touchdowns on offense. That means a touchdown a game they're basically getting. Their defense isn't better. That's one thing I thought about the Titans. They can hang their hat on the defense. They have Snead, a good corner. They have Simmons, and they have some good guys in the front seven. They're allowing 31.3 points a game to opponents. 31 points they're averaging each a game. They've allowed 10 touchdowns. 10 touchdowns they've allowed on defense, and their offense has only put up 3 touchdowns. That's a massive, massive difference. They're also allowing 5 yards a rush and 7 yards a pass. So it's damn near first down every time you throw the ball on these guys. So there is nothing positive I can say against them. I guess only thing I could say that's positive is the kicker they signed for a year, Sly. He's 10 for 12 on field goal attempts. That's about it. There's nothing positive about the Titans. I don't know, man. Is there anything you want to say about the Titans here?
No, no. That offensive line is putrid. They should bench Cam Ward. It's ugly.
Save his life.
Yeah. Yeah.
15 sacks, man. 50. They're gonna get like if this keeps up, dude. We're talking like I don't know 70 sacks in the season. That's unbelievable. And let's talk about the Texans, okay? So the Texans, I'm done betting the Texans. They were my best bets. I thought money line they could beat the Jaguars, and they could have. They had the game actually to win that game, and they blew it. I don't know what's up with them. I think they need to get rid of it. This new offensive coordinator needs a kick in the balls, if you know what I mean. They're coming off a loss to the Jaguars. They should have won that game. CJ Stroud looks a bit lost. I know his offensive line is basically rebuilt as well, but they're not doing terrible. They're average, actually. They're not as bad as the goddamn Titans. So I have no idea why, he's looked like he's lost a little of that magic, his rookie magic. He has 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Nick Chubb, I don't know. That's why I think they're bringing in their backup Woody Marks. They're having him do a lot more. They're introducing him more into the games. I think we're going to see a lot more Woody Marks in there. So if you want to grab him in fantasy, go ahead. He's averaging 4 yards a carry. Chubb. It's not bad. It's not great. They should use Marks more, like I said. They need more out of their wide receivers. They just need it. It's Nico Collins, and that's it. Christian Kirk did come back, and he had 8 targets, but he only caught 4 for 35 yards. They released CJ Gardner-Johnson, the big trade they do with the Eagles. He is now off the team. So what does that say? I guess another positive you could say about them, like, look, their offense is terrible. It's the worst ranked offense, passing offense in more particular. It's the worst in the league, and the rush offense is not doing them any favors either. So, they have Nico Collins, Christian Kirk, guys they drafted in the first 3 rounds in the wide receiver room. They have Schultz at tight end. And yes, their offensive line is not good, but it's not bad either. So I don't know why they can't get to their players,
I don't get it. I don't. I think it's CJ Stroud. I think he's lost his confidence with that battle line. Maybe having Christian Kirk there and having a little more another wide receiver he can distribute to will help. But yeah, they're dysfunctional. But that front seven is still ferocious. They should be. I mean, they could win this game without playing offense.
Right. Exactly. And dude,
it's like
that's
the old
right.
Bears teams.
Oh yeah, exactly. So that's the only positive you get this from this team. The defense has 9 sacks, and Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. They're 1-2, freaking hardcore punch, heavyweight punches. They have 2 sacks each, and they have a crap ton of QB pressures. So that's what you can hang your hat on, and that's what I'm going to hang my hat on. Oh, by the way, before I make my prediction, their star corner Stingley, it was a top 10, definitely top 15, no, top 10 for sure in the corner in this league. He is questionable with an oblique injury, and obliques are not something to mess with. They could slow you down. So with that, though, because this is the awful, 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 awful offensive line, I think they're going to eat the hell out of the Cam Ward and that offense. So I'm taking it's a lot of points. It is. And I think it's kind of a sucker's bet but you know what? I just can't. There's nothing positive about the Titans offense, and their defense looks garbage ever. I think if the Texans are going to have a bounce back game, their offense in more particular, this is the game to do it, because there's nothing positive about the Titans. So give me the Texans to cover the 7.5 points.
Yep, I'm with you. They need to get right here. If they don't, they're going to be sitting right next to the Texans to top couple picks of the next year's draft.
Right. And God knows the first pick they need to do is offensive lineman, the Titans. But let's talk about a team that I'm not surprised. Another team I took under. Watch that. Watch my TikTok, my YouTube Shorts, people. I said to take under with Atlanta Falcons on their team total wins because I wasn't sold on that pass rush. Just because they sacked on week 2, they sacked the quarterback that many times. I said don't buy it just yet. Wait till they see how they do against the Panthers, and they did crappy against the Panthers. We have the Commanders versus the Atlanta Falcons, with the Commanders being favored by 1.5 points and the over-unders 44.5. Let's talk about the Commanders here real quick. Commanders coming off a blowout win against the Raiders. The Raiders made it look like it was interesting because they got a lot of fourth quarter touchdowns, but it was given. They were going to win it. The writing was on the wall. Hey, Marcus Mariota, baby, that guy looked like he you know he's been doing great with them as a backup. Even last year to this year, he looks dynamite.
Yeah, I don't know. So it's so valuable for a team to have a reliable backup that comes in. They can just run the offense. You're a better team, win the game, and he looked great. Ran the ball well, even though he's a little older. They look good.
Yeah, they do look real good. Surprised at Mariota, no turnovers, look great. So before we start with the matchups, Scary Terry is getting a second opinion. So when I hear a player's getting a second opinion, I'm like, that's not good. So if he is, it's a quad injury, and that's something you need healthy when you're a wide receiver. So I think he's going to be out for the game because when they need a second opinion, I think that means you're going to be out. So pay attention to that. It's going to be Debo Samuel and whoever the hell they got wide receiver. Noah Brown is actually hurt as well. So Bates is also. So it's going to be Zach Ertz and Debo Samuel. So keep an eye on that. The running back room is a mixed bag. Who the hell is going to be the starting running back? It looks like it's going to be a running back by committee because Eckler towards ACL. He's done for the year. Jaden Daniels is still out. So the injuries are kind of piling up with them because they have 3 starters on defense who are on IR as well. So they're kind of
He's listed
piling it
as
out.
questionable. Jaden Daniels on ESPN. You don't think he's going to play?
No, when they had the initial
Okay.
injury, they said 2 to 5 weeks. So
Okay.
I'm going to assume it. Pay attention before the game starts. If you want to bend this because the line will move if Jaden Daniels is going to be healthy. He'll probably move to 3.5 points because Jaden Daniels is that kind of guy. He can move at 2 points. But I'm going to say he's out. The defense has 9 sacks, but like I said, what concerns me is that they only have 1 turnover. By the way, they've only caused 1 turnover the defense, so they are getting after the quarterback, but nobody's making a difference and causing turnovers. So keep an eye on that. And like I said, they have 3 guys who are hurt, but they did bring in Preston Smith last week, so he'll probably get more acquainted with the playbook and he'll probably get more playing time. Now let's talk about Atlanta. They're embarrassing. Michael Penix looks like he's stuck in the mud. I told you guys that pass rush, do not buy. That's why I told you take the Panthers plus the points. I always say buy low when the public's pushing a team the points, and they were buying low, and everybody was thought the Atlanta Falcons. They're buying so much, they're buying too high in the Atlanta Falcons, and it kept on pushing the number where you had to buy it with the Panthers. And I told you to take that 5.5 points. They cover easily. They blow the doors off the Atlanta Falcons. They only sacked Bryce Young one time because they're depending on these 2 rookies to get out for the quarterback. When before those rookies even arrived on their team, they were terrible at getting the quarterback last year. Penix looks below average. He threw 2 interceptions. But he only has 1 passing TD in all football. So I think he does. Wait, hold on. Let me double check that real quick. I think he only had 1 touchdown for the game, but I might be mistaken. I actually think he has 1 passing touchdown for the whole season. And let me double check that for you guys. Yeah,
Yeah,
he only
because
has one passing.
last week they scored 0 points. The
Yeah,
first goose egg of the year.
Michael Penix is 1 touchdown, 2 picks in 3 games. Okay, people, that is not good. It's BJ Robinson. If they can't get BJ Robinson going, it's down here. BJ Robinson leads them in rushing, leads them in receiving yards as well. That kind of sucks for Drake London fantasy owners. But BJ Robinson is that guy who could play wide receiver, so that's not too bad. But from a Michael Penix standpoint, you want your guy who they have a decent offensive line. It's actually good, not great, but it's good. You want him to have 1 more passing touchdown. You have weapons surrounding him: Mooney, Pitts, Robinson, Drake London, and he has 1 passing touchdown. That's a quarterback problem, not a position problem. Like I said, basically, if Robinson is not killing it, they lose the game. Like I said, and by the way, BJ Robinson has no rushing touchdowns, no rushing touchdowns this season. They're only from receiving, so they need him. He's basically their best wide receiver. I'll let you take this one, man. Commanders, it's Mariota. The injuries are piling up, and it's stick in the mud, Michael Penix, and it's basically BJ Robinson, and that's all. Who do you got?
Yeah, it's a rough one, but I'm going with the Commanders. You can't get beat like that by the Panthers and score 0 points. The team Falcons have an identity crisis. They're going to have a quarterback crisis after this week if they lose badly to the Commanders. They have Kirk Cousins just sitting there. So either they need to trade him to somebody.
Kirk Cousins. What was it Kirk doing? He had the chains on it. He had
He's
the chains
the
on.
highest paid quarterback of all time, right? Because it's all
Yeah.
guaranteed money. I mean,
Yeah.
he's
I
such
believe.
a
I
dweeb,
believe.
but
Well, if Kirk Cousins is not the highest paid quarterback of all time, he is definitely the highest paid backup of all time.
yeah, but like in actual money, like he has been paid more than like what a lot of people's contracts say.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, Commanders are going to find a way to take care of the Falcons.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be a running matchup. This is gonna be a running duo. Who both teams, I think, they rely on the run. But right now, Marcus Mariota is better than Michael Penix. He just is. Now it's gonna suck that Scary Terry's not gonna play. He got hurt in that like last 5 minutes of that fourth quarter, so people are probably gonna put the box in. But you know what? I think they're gonna do enough to, possibly some magic, if you will. Kingsbury, the offensive coordinator, he'll do something. But I trust Marcus Mariota more than I trust and I trust that front seven to get after Penix more than I trust the front seven of the Falcons to get after Mariota. So I think it's going to be a running game, but it's basically a pick 'em game. Give me the Commanders to cover the 1.5 points, and give Adam them to cover the 1.5 points. And here is a game that the number is humongous. We have the Saints, the lonely, lonely Saints versus the Buffalo Bills. The Bills being favored by 15.5 points and the over-under being 47.5. The Saints, there's not much to say about them. I'll keep this short and simple about the Saints. Um, they got blown out by the Seahawks like they got beat like a stepchild. It was unbelievable. I guess I'm positive you could choose for this. They look solid. Spencer Rattler looks solid. That is, he's completing 67% of his passes, so that's a good mark to have. He's close to 70 percent. That's really good to have. Um, he has 16 touchdowns and only one interception. That's really good. That's not bad. They have solid weapons. They have Johnson at tight end, a lively Rashid Shaheed. That's actually pretty good. It's not bad. Kamari, the running back, he doesn't look so great. He's only averaging 3.7 yards a carry, but he's still trying to do his thing where he's receiving and running. He might have took a step back. Maybe he's a little tad slower because all he had to carry the Saints offense for so many years. But the Saints, another team that used to say they could one thing they can hang their hat on is their defense. Their defense is allowing 30 points to each opponent. So that is not good. Finally, they got some steadiness on their offense. Their offense is actually producing, but their defense is going hell in a handbasket. So I don't know, man. There's not much to say there. I'm surprised by Spencer Rattler. I guess that's something to say.
Yeah, he's doing all right actually, and if he could see some improvements, that would be a successful season for the Saints. But they're not going to have any wins.
Yeah. Let's briefly talk about the Bills. The Bills beat the Dolphins. Me and Adam, we took the Dolphins to cover, and they did cover for us. So the Dolphins did cover.
Luckily, it was a lucky
Yeah,
one, but
yeah. So, but they still lost. They still beat the Dolphins by 10 points. Bills' offense is great. We all know that they have weapons. Allen is Superman MVP candidate. Cook is looking really great, having another amazing year. They have weapons galore. But it's with their defense is what I want to talk about. Their defense is looking like you could score on their defense. It is not looking so great. Their defense in particular is allowing 16-point yards a rush. So teams are getting over damn near over five. They are getting over 5 yards, 6.2 yards a carry on them. And they have 6 sacks, which is not bad. It's like, but the majority of those 6 sacks came in one game. So I'm going to think, I'm going to consider that an outlier. So they're not getting after the quarterback that much either. So their defense secondary is being a little bit exposed. Teams are scoring on them. You could rush on them, and They only got 6 sacks. Like I said, the majority of those sacks came in one game. So that's something to worry about. A little betting statistic for everybody here. The Saints are 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games, and the Bills are 12-6 against the spread in the last 18 games, going back to last year. I'll let you take away on this one, man.
Um, Man, 15 points is just too much for me. I think the Bills are going to like pull starters, or they don't need to play this game till the end. So I think the Saints can keep it within that, even if it's with a lucky score at the end. So it's a purely betting play for me.
I hear you. I hear you. And you know what? The number opened at 16 and a half, and everybody was taking it at 16 and a half. So um, I'm with you. I think there's going to be another Mark special. You heard her first. Well, Adam said it first. I think this is the potential to be now. It's not going to be the what the Packers did, but I think this is the Browns special. I think the Saints can hang in there or get a backdoor cover. I really do. They actually have a decent offensive team, and Spencer Rattler has not turned the ball over. So I think there's a good chance they could go punch for punch. Well, not maybe not punch for punch every punch, but they could actually keep it interesting with the Bills. And I think they could get a backdoor cover. I think this is going to be a 34-24 kind of game, kind of like with the Dolphins. And they actually lose by double digits, but they keep it close enough where they cover. So give us the Saints plus the 15 and a half points. And let's just talk about the team that I just told you about, a team that I love what they did. The Cleveland Browns versus the Lions, and another big spread here. The Lions are favored by 8.5 points, and the over-under is 44.5. Like I said, baby, I called it. I love seeing it. The Browns are coming off a great, big, beautiful win against the Packers. Like I said, I've been harping on their defense. I feel like I'm the not, but I know Adam, you knew about their defense, but I listen to a lot of guys. I've been harping on their defense, saying their defense is no joke. It will be top 10, possibly top 5. The only way they are not going to be a top 5 defense if their offense turns the ball over and teams score on with short yardage. But it has that potential. That front seven is ferocious. That run defense is it's a brick wall you're hitting. Okay, so they have a great defense. The defense has 11 total sacks. Myles Garrett has 4 sacks, and they're only allowing 2.3 yards a rush. So you can't get nothing on them, okay? And they've only allowed 1 rushing touchdown. So they're a brick wall to teams want to run on them. And guess what the Lions like to do? They like to run on teams. But the usual with Browns, all the Browns since God knows how long, it's their offense. Their offense is putrid because of the quarterback play. Joe Flacco, he has I think 2 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, if my memory serves me right. But they have weapons. They have Jerry Judy, Tillman, good 2 tight ends. The new rookie Judkins, he looks great. He had a good game against the Packers. So they have the weapons, but they need. If Joe Flacco doesn't produce this game, I think they pull the plug and bring in Sanders or bring in Daniel Gabriel, bring in one of them to add a spark on this offense. Because if they had a better quarterback, they could have actually won that game and pretty handily to the Packers, because I feel like the Packers overlooked them. Anything you want to say about the Browns? Because I know you talked about them with the Packer game. Anything you want to say about them?
No, no, but I don't think the Lions will overlook them. But I do think that the D line is going to give the Lions rushing attack fits.
Definitely.
We'll
I totally agree with that. Lions, they looked amazing against the Ravens. They scored at will basically against them. The rushing attack was just hike, first down, hike, first down, hike, first down. That's how good the rushing attack was. They were firing at all cylinders. Are probably the best offensive in the league. Probably. I mean, I would probably take them over the Bills offense, but because they just have better wide receivers, in my opinion, than the Bills wide receivers. They have Allen is obviously a better quarterback than Goff. Debatable, but let's say top 2 offensive in the league. The defense has 11 sacks. So that's pretty good. But wait, I take that back. They have 11 sacks, but 7 of those sacks were in one game. So it's a bit of an outlier. So it's Hutchinson and basically Hutchinson to get after the quarterback. So take that with a grain of salt. And I'm not sold on their pass rush, like I said. So there's nothing really said about that. Deion Branch, Joseph, 2 good 1-punch safety, and their offense is second to none, maybe to the Bills, and that's it. So man, tough game. Browns look good. They fought tough against the Packers, who a lot of people crowned the Packers as the hottest team. Now I think a lot of people are saying Detroit are the hottest team, even though the Eagles are undefeated. And anyways, who do you like in this game, man? It's a 8.5.
Oh, to me, it's all about the Lions' offensive line. They looked good last week, but it was against the Ravens. I saw Penny Sewell had like almost a perfect PFF rating, which is almost impossible. So they are cooking with gas. Dan Campbell brought out the good meth last game, and they were up the whole game. But man, I don't know. Maybe I'm giving the Browns too much credit. But if they can disrupt that offensive line, we saw what happens to the Lions' offense after in the Packers game. I don't like betting the Browns, but I think I'm gonna take the Browns to keep it close enough. 9.5 is the spread, right?
8.5. But shop. Yeah, that's where I got it at. But when I wrote it down today or yesterday.
Okay.
Not too big of a number.
I got to go Lions then.
Lions 8.5.
Lions.
You son of a gun! You took what I was going to take. Look I was on the Browns last week because I really thought the media was hyping up the Packers like nobody's business, and I thought it was a great time to buy Browns stock. Like I said, buy it when it's low. I think the Lions saw what the Packers did. Like the Packers probably overlooked them. Oh, it's the Browns. It'll be an easy win. Excuse me. I think Detroit's like, hey, we can't take this team. We gotta make sure we're on the ball. So I think the Lions are not going to do what the Packers did, and I think they win and cover this 8.5 number. So much firepower in that team, and eventually, I think this might be the game they say like Flacco, you need to go. But hey, if they cover, I like to see the Browns cover. I like the Browns. But give me the Lions to cover the 8.5. And another game that which I'm surprised this number is this big. I thought it'd be 3.5 points. We have the Panthers versus the Patriots. Patriots being favored by 5.5 points and the over/under being 42.5 points. Panthers coming off a dominant blowout win against the Falcons, 30-0. The Carolina Panthers, it could be a bit deceiving, okay? I'm going to get to why that game could be a bit deceiving, why it looks like they blew out the Falcons. Bryce Young didn't throw over 200 yards. He threw for actually 121 yards in that game. No TDs were thrown by him. The rush attack only ran for 110 yards on 30 attempts. That is pretty awful, okay? So their offense did not step in that game, even though it looks like it did. It's 30-0. Their defense had no sacks in that game as well, but they had 2 interceptions. It was basically Michael Penix could not get the ball to his wide receivers. Michael Penix in that game had only a completion rate of 50%, literally 50%. That means when he threw a ball, it was a flip. It was a coin flip. It was where it was going to go. So the numbers are deceiving. I think it was 30-0. Like, wow, man, it's 30-0. Their offense must have killed. No, it did not. Chuba Hubbard did not do well. Rico didn't do well. Bryce Young and the wide receivers didn't do well as all. So, and also their wide receiver, the one they drafted in the first round, he is questionable in this game, and he didn't practice on Wednesday. So keep an eye on for that. So that game was deceiving. Let me just jump to the Patriots here real quick. Patriots lost to the Steelers. Like I said, it's a game they should have won. 5 turnovers. You can't do that. May fumbled. Stevenson fumbled twice. So I think that rookie they drafted, Henderson, is going to get more play than Stevenson in this game. Drake May is killing it, by the way. You picked him up because what's his name got hurt for you, Purdy. So he is killing it. He's number 2 in completion rating, completion percentage, and he's number A in EPA. So he's looking good. And his success rate is number 3 in the NFL. So he's doing wonders. But the rushing attack is awful. They need to do better than that. You're not scared of any of these guys. Their rushing attack is 27th in EPA. No, it's last in EPA, last in the league in EPA, and 27th in success rate. That is god awful. And Drake May has been sacked 12 times. That is also not good because the Panthers, they really can't get after the quarterback, so it's not that much. So with all that being said, man, I broke off those 2 teams. I'll do this one since you've been doing it for the last ones. Like I said, it was fool's gold that game. What the Panthers did, it was fool's gold. Their offense did not look well against the Panthers. I mean, against the Falcons. They didn't even sack the Penix once. They had 2 interceptions because Penix is terrible. And I think Drake May's going to do better than Penix. Drake May's head and shoulders better than Penix right now. So I think they're not going to have 5 turnovers like they did last week. They're at home, and I think they could win and cover this game. Give me the Patriots to cover the 5.5 points. They're not going to get 5 turnovers, and it was a lucky game that the Patriots won by that much.
Ugh, I feel like we're picking the same a lot this week. But
Hey, it happens, man.
If Ted McMillan's out for the Panthers, there's no way the Panthers can put up enough points to hang with the Patriots. So I'm gonna go Patriots.
Yeah, hey man, I know we were going against each other for who has the thing, but sometimes it just rolls like that one week. There's a lot of big numbers in this game. So yeah, man, like I said, yeah, Panthers a bit of fool's gold, and I like buying, like I said, when the stock's low, but I'm not buying it this run. I think the Patriots are a good number to buy right now. And sticking with two teams that are looking good, and let's talk about the Jaguars against the 49ers. The 49ers are favored by 3.5 points, and the over-under is 47.5. Jaguars are coming off a win against the Texans. Not an impressive win. That's a game they could have lost easily. Um, I'm just gonna say it, man. The Jaguars offense, especially their passing attack, looks god awful. It looks putrid. The past, let's just say T Law is not looking good. He's looking below average. He has more interceptions than he has touchdowns. I saw a good statistic by Warren Sharp. He said that out of 270 qualifying QBs since 2020, the Jaguars receivers since in week 3 had the highest drop rate ever since 2020. So the Jaguars wide receivers are dropping the ball like crazy. 32% of Trevor Lawrence's incompletions are all because of the wide receivers. 32%. So the wide receivers are dropping. Brian Thomas Jr. is selling on plays. Hunter is where the hell is he? Nobody. He is not living to the hype, in my opinion. So their offense is not looking great. The defense is allowing teams to score 17 points, but I think that's a bit skewed because the Jaguars have played some of the worst offenses in all football. The Texans, the Titans, they've played nobody worth mentioning. So I'm not sold on the Jaguars. The wide receivers are not looking good whatsoever. They're looking putrid, like I said, and their Trevor Lawrence. He's not looking good either. He is not look. He's looking like, hey, I hate to say, he's looking like a bust. He's looking like a bust. He's not looking that great.
I mean, how can you look good though when you can't trust your wide receivers? I think he's just. I mean, has always. He's never hit his ceiling, and with receivers treating him like this, I don't think he's gonna take that another step forward this year.
Right. I want to say he has 4 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. I said 2 touchdowns, so he's even on that. Their best wide receivers are tight end, which is, I guess it's not always bad, but like when you have Brian Thomas Jr., 2 first-round wide receiver picks in your team, and your tight end, who's an average tight end, is leading your team in receiving, that's not a good look. Travis Etienne is basically carrying the team, 270 yards rushing, 1 touchdown, and he's passing and he's catching a lot of balls as well. He's basically putting the team on his shoulders. Let's talk about the 49ers. They squeaked out a win against the Cardinals, literally 16-15, I think this final score was. Mac Jones looks good, though. Mac Jones has 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, but he is questionable in this game, so pay attention to that. He is questionable going this game. He's limited in practice, so keep an eye. Purdy is not coming back, so I don't know who the third guy in line is for them.
You don't think Purdy's coming back? They have him listed as questionable and as the starter currently,
Really?
and he's active off IR on fantasy.
Okay, well,
Or not
I'm
IR,
looking. Yeah, I'm looking. He is questionable with his toe still. So on the latest injury report right here, I'm looking at. So, but maybe he is. So pay attention. If that is, hey. But I'll tell you, Mac Jones looked better than Purdy. He definitely did. But if he does, keep an eye out for that. Okay, I think the line will stay the same even if Purdy plays at 3.5. Uh, Bosa is out for the year. He is done. What else? The guy's injury prone, so nobody should be surprised there. But here's the thing about the 49ers. And I don't like either of these teams. This is one of the hardest matchups to pick. Every win the 49ers have has been decided by less than a touchdown. Every win they have. That's not impressive, my man.
even
That is
against the
not
Saints.
impressive. Yeah, even against the Saints. So Nick Bosa, one of the best guys getting after the quarterback, is hurt. Jennings is probably not playing the game, the wide receiver. Ayuk is still out. Parcells, he looks good. The other wide receiver, you have McCaffrey's going to have to play Superman as usual to win this, and Kittle is still out. So, man, I'll let you take this one because I don't know who to pick. I think it's going to be a slap fest. Who do you got? Who do you think?
Yeah, I still keep feeling like the Jaguars are almost like how I felt about the Bears, that they're better than what they've been playing and they're going to break out at some point. I don't know, but I without Bosa, I think I'm going to go Jaguars. I think if Brian Thomas, maybe he can get it together this game. I don't know. It's on a hope, a dream, and a prayer that I'm taking the Jaguars.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. And it's tough for me. It really is. I don't know who I would choose. It's basically a coin flip for me. I'm just take the 49ers cover 3.5 strictly because they're at home and I trust McCaffrey over any other offensive member on the whole Jaguars team. Mac Jones looks better than Trevor Lawrence right now, okay? And the wide receivers are dropping the ball left and right. If Jennings somehow plays this game, I'll be surprised, but if he does, that's a good, good for them. I think it's gonna be a close game. So the three into the hook does sound good to me, but I'm just gonna take the San Francisco to cover this game, So I don't know. I'm personally not gonna bet on this game, guys. It's actually gonna be fun to watch 'cause it's gonna be close, but I'm not betting it. And let's talk about your second favorite team. You love this team, baby. The Chicago Bears versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Like I told you guys, the inconsistent Geno, baby. The Bears are fair by 1.5, actually. So the Raiders are a home dog, and the over-under is 47.5. Bears are coming off a blowout win against the Dallas Cowboys. And hey, let's just say it. We have to admit it. Caleb Williams looks great. He looks good. He's having great numbers. He has 7 touchdowns and only 1 interception. He has a completion rate of 63%. I'd like to see it be that just a little bit higher, but 63 is a good number. And hey, I would say that I'm have a little egg on my face about Romeo Donze. I didn't see it. I didn't think I don't know, I think he's gonna be a great wide receiver, but he's looking good. He's looking really great. Yeah, he's leading the whole receiving room. I think he has over 200 yards receiving, and he has more yards than DJ Moore. So that's surprising. DJ Moore's good. You want to see more other tight ends, especially since they did that. They picked which looks like might be a bad pick with that tight end. I think what's his name, Loveland.
Yeah, and I think he got hurt the last game too.
Oh, he did get hurt? Okay. Well, they still have Komet, who's actually a more reliable, probably tight end in this game. So, but Romeo Duze looks great. The passing game looks legit, but like I've been saying since week one, the running back room is god awful. Seems like a lot of teams have bad running back rooms. Swift is just a complimentary back. He shouldn't be a lead back. I keep on saying that. The Bears, if they want to be legit, they have to go trade for a running back. They have to do it. A cornerback and a running back. They need to they need to go trade for a corner and a running back if they're gonna make it to the playoffs and have a winning record at the end of the season because they're 1-2 right now. Anything you want to say? Well, also their defense only has 5 sacks, by the way. That's not the monsters of the midway as we used to know. So they need more turnovers. They need more of the secondary, and that front seven needs to get after the quarterback more. So before I jump on the Raiders, you want to say anything about your favorite Bears team?
No, I mean, well, sure. Caleb looked good. I think it's kind of the Ben Johnson effect. He was hitting wide open guys. I mean, Caleb has great arm strength and can put the ball wherever he wants, and the offense was clicking. So if Ben Johnson can keep that rolling, they're going to be, it's kind of who they were. People thought they were going to be in the offseason, at least offensively. So got to be happy as a Bear fan, but we'll see if they can do it. 2 weeks in a row.
Right. Their best running back is their best corner is out. I don't know how long, but he's definitely on the IR. They're saying several weeks, maybe the year. Just remember that. Also, Kyle Gordon, the other corner, is questionable. TJ Edwards is questionable. Their tight ends questionable. Swift is questionable, and their starting tackle is questionable. Right, Darnell Wright. So there's that. The Raiders are actually coming in pretty relatively healthy. There's nobody big injuries with them. They got blown out by the Marcus Mariota Commanders. As I said before, Geno Smith is inconsistent. He looks like he had a good game against the Commanders, but both those touchdowns to Trey Tucker We're in the fourth quarter. I mean, good for the Raiders not giving up. I give them that, but take that with a grain of salt when he got those touchdowns. Look at just like last year, I thought it'd be different with Genti. They still have one of the worst running back rooms of all of football. Genti does not look like the guy. He has 144 yards only rushing on 47 carries. That is not good at all. So, everybody thought he was going to, pick it up or be decent.
Their offensive line is awful. He's getting hit at the
He,
line like every single play. I saw some stat where he had like one more yard than he. His yards after contact are insane because he's getting hit behind the line like every single play.
Yeah, that's true. And good thing you mentioned that because I was just about to say, Geno Smith has been sacked 12 times. He's been sacked 12 times. That's only second to Cam Ward, who has sacked 15 times. So this offensive line is not great. They're not helping them doing any favors. So it's probably why they got to, pass the ball. They got to pass the ball because they got to do like a three steps hike, throw, hike, throw, hike, throw. So not surprised there. You want to see them you want to see Geno spread the ball more often, actually, because Trey Tucker has he has mostly all their touchdowns. Nobody else really has any. He's the only receiver with touchdowns, I should say. So Brock Bowers, Jacoby Myers, these guys don't have touchdowns. It's all Trey Tucker. So you like to see more, especially people like me who have Brock Bowers on their fantasy team. Hey, that'd be
Yeah,
nice.
I think he was hurt a little bit, so he might be getting healthy.
Yeah.
So maybe
So
he'll let loose this game. But
So what it comes down to, man, is this: the Bears defense ain't looking good. The Raiders defense ain't looking that good either. So do you trust the Bears offense more than you trust the Raiders offense? I think that's what it comes down to. Like, because I think both these defense are suspect. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored. But who do you trust, man? Who do you like more?
I'm going Bears pretty easily after last week. I just haven't liked what I've seen from the Raiders. Bears looked good last week, and I think Ben Johnson's might find a little mojo here and keep them scoring enough points to outmatch their shitty defense.
Yeah, you know, I know the Bears prove people are wrong, and let's don't buy too much hype in the Bears, okay? Because yes, they did win a big game against the Cowboys, but the Cowboys are garbage. Okay, they're beat up. Their secondary is not great. C.D. Lamb got hurt in the first
By a
quarter
cheap
of that
shot.
game. Yeah,
Nobody's saying that, but I hated that tackle anyway.
exactly, almost a cheap shot tackle. You heard her here first. So let's don't buy on the Bears just yet. We got to see them more, and also they're playing against the Raiders. But I can't trust right now. Caleb Williams is the better quarterback. I'm gonna trust the better quarterback any day of the week, right now, and I just can't trust it. So I think the Bears will be more consistent in their offense than Geno Smith will. So give me the Bears to cover the 1 points. And I actually think it's gonna be a good game. I'm actually gonna watch it because I think it's gonna be a high flying game. So I think it's gonna be a good, entertaining game. All right, guys. Now it's time for our best bets. We both went 2-1 against the spread on our best bets last week, so that's a great number. I thought I was going to go 3-0. I thought the Texans would cover, but they didn't. They didn't win it outright. They laid an egg, but still 2-1. We both went over 500. We'll put our records here in the bottom. I'll start first, Adam, since I had the winning week for week 3. The first game I like. I think I've been doing terrible my over unders on total, but I really think that the Bears and Raiders will go over the 47.5 points. I think both these teams' secondary is hurt. They're suffering, and both these teams are having trouble getting after the quarterback. And I think this would be another game for Caleb Williams to light up the Raiders. And I think, hey, just like last week, Geno Smith had a lot of garbage time touchdowns. I think they could get garbage time touchdowns on a Bears secondary that's suffering because of their injuries. So I'll give me the Bears and the Raiders game to go over 47.5 points. And in the second game, I like the Chargers to cover the 6.5 points. I think this is bad news for the Giants to put up a rookie quarterback right there in front of a good Chargers defense and a rookie running back. I think it's just bad news. I think it could be a bit of a sucker's bet. So I'm a little worried about it because the Chargers offensive line hasn't been the best. So I think the Giants could possibly get to them, but I think the Chargers could win this by a touchdown. Look, the Giants are 0-3. They do not look good. I think this could be a 24 17 game or 24-14 game, something like that. But I think they win and cover the 6.5 points, the Chargers. And then the third and final game, I like the Patriots to cover the 5.5 points. I truly do. Look at the Patriots. They had 5 turnovers against the Steelers. That's not going to happen again, okay? Mike Vrabel is going to get this team to tighten up. And the Carolina Panthers, who they're playing against, they got lucky as hell. If you go look at that game, they're offensively, even though it looks like a blowout, they did not good. Bryce Young didn't throw over 200 yards. The rushing yards was low. They did not look that great. I think the Patriots in New England win this by at least a touchdown. So give me the Patriots at covering the 5.5 points, baby. So what do you think, man?
I like it. We have one overlap.
Chargers?
Kick it off. Yeah, Chargers.
Yeah.
I love the Chargers. I think that's an easy one. I think Jackson Dart is just going to be in a whirlwind, and they're going to take advantage. So it's good. There's going to be some soul searching for the Giants for the next couple of weeks, and I don't think Dart's just going to come in and turn the ship around. So
wait, what were they saying? Wait, what's that saying? Out of the pan into the fryer?
Yeah. I can't think of it now.
Whatever that is,
everybody knows what it is.
But that's Jackson Dart.
Exactly. Out of the frying pan into the fire.
There you go.
So that's the first one. Second one for me, I think the Vikings defense is going to handle old man Rodgers, and I think with Addison and Jefferson and their offense, I think they're easily going to cover the 2.5. And then finally, I think Denver is going to blow out the Bengals. 7.5 just isn't enough for me. I think that defense is going to pin their ears back and really go after them. I think they are a good defense, and they're going to want to show it. So I think they're going to show up and dominate. So those are my 3.
Yeah, I was really close to picking that Denver game too. I really do. I don't know what the Bengals are going to do there, but just an honorable mention before we end our podcast here. I do really like the over in the Bills and Saints game. I think there's going to be a lot of point scores, the 47.5. So I'm personally going to sprinkle some money on that game as well. But we won't count that for my best bets. Honorable mention. So guys, we did it. We're here to week 4. It's like we're almost getting to mid-season, which is kind of weird. You know what I mean? It's like, it's unbelievable that we're basically a month into football already. It's just flying by, which I don't want it to fly by. I want it to stay forever.
I know. But the Packers need to get better. I want to be back in a time where they're winning. So I'm ready for this week, and then hopefully
Well, guys, there it is. We killed it. I killed it last week. Hopefully I keep this winning streak against Adam so I don't have to pay for dinner and drinks at the end of the season. Best bets. Hopefully our best bets win it for you guys, win it for us. And like I said, always bet responsibility. Don't bet so much on those parlays, okay, people? But guys, we love doing this. Like and subscribe. It goes a long way for this very small channel, but we love doing this. We're possibly thinking about bringing some our own personal friends, make this more lively, make it more fun as well on our future podcast. So keep an eye out for that. Always shop all your books to get the best number, and always pay attention to those injuries, those injury reports. So guys, like I said, we love doing this. We will see you the next one. Let's win some money, guys. And hopefully I beat Adam. All right. But guys, I'll see you the next one. So you guys have a good one.